been a while.
It has been.
We're here at my house, Susie,
And I'm Trish.
and we are really excited today to talk about one of our favorite subjects, which is plant,
Yeah.
beautiful medicine.
Plant magic and medicine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's something that we're both very passionate about, and we've had different experiences and different training and things like that. So we want to talk about that, different ways that we use them, and right now we're in the growing season, so that can be part of our discussion too. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I have a lot of books. Surprise! And I've got my, I know it doesn't have anything to do with plants. I probably do have some plant oracle decks over there, but I thought I would pull a Mother Mary oracle card maybe for later.
Yeah, so how did you get interested? Because I know you're taking herbal courses now, so
Yeah.
how did you get interested and started in herbalism?
Yeah, well, I guess it all came about from my my witchcraft studies because it just goes hand in hand, right? And when you think about how your ancestors made medicine, well, of course, it was through what plants they had and the herbal lore that they passed on to one another. So I love honoring, the history and the traditions, and at the same time we know so much more about plant medicine now because we can prove scientifically how it helps with all kinds of ailments. I mean, really, that's modern pharmacology is based on
Yeah.
ancient lore and plant medicine,
Yeah.
and then discovering how to better use it today. So
Yeah.
it's come full circle, really.
Yeah, yeah, for me, excuse me, I'm drinking nettle tea, so maybe it's making me gassy.
I check the properties of nettle tea and see if that's one of them.
So, yeah, for me it was the same thing. I always had a connection to plants, like I've always had like house plants, and Mom would always had plants and gardens and stuff, so I just always felt that connection to plants. And same thing, like in witchy studies, I think that was one of the things that really got me excited when I was reading books and they were talking about plant magic, like using plants and spells and potions and that kind of thing. I was like, oh, I love that. That's one of the reasons that it drew me into a witchy practice, I guess. I took an herbal course, like you're taking an herbal course now, right? And explain to me again, because I know you told me, but what is her approach to
So she's she has an apothecary shop, and she teaches class and she dispenses medicine. So it's a clinical dispensary, but this course in particular is about self-care. So it's about yourself, and how you can use plants and herbs and make medicine. So it's for you to take care of yourself. So the very first thing we made was a rosemary tincture. And rosemary is probably my number one. So when you look at the different categories, medicinal, magical, and culinary / teas,
Yeah.
rosemary fits all of those for me. So it's probably my number one. But yeah, so we're learning how to make medicines, tinctures, teas. I think we're going to do salves as well. And we learn about how it grows, like from start to finish, and how to, at what stage do we use which part of the plant. And it's a little bit magical, it's a little bit mystical, it's very practical. And it's just really an awesome way to connect for yourself, to connect with the earth and to connect with plants, but also in a learning environment with one another. And it's right, how I was talking about community and how important that is for me. So I learned from the other people in my class as much as I learned from my instructor, Lynn Marie. So yeah, if you're local, her place is called Arisma Holistic Health in Truro, Nova Scotia, and she does teach classes that are there, and she takes clients there to come in, and she'll do an evaluation for you and show you, tinctures and teas and things that can help you. So yeah, it's fascinating to me. I'm just loving it. Loving it. So it's a year long. It's called Journey Through the Seasons of Your Health is what the course is called. And it's year long. Okay. So we go through all the seasons and learn what's best to use when, and yeah.
That's good tea.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so this, I didn't bring the bag in with me. This is nettle tea that Lynn Marie's harvested from her yard, and if you go there, she'll dig some up for you. I did get stung.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I had gloves on, and right where the glove ended and my skin began, so it's stinging nettle. Yeah. And, it's protecting itself, because plants are very intelligent, and, they need to survive, and so that's one of its defense mechanisms. So it just blistered like that. But you know what? I accepted that, and I just remained calm and just said, I honor the spirit of you protecting yourself, and I know that, I'm not going to come to any harm. And then it just faded away, although the little cut stayed for a while, just as a reminder. But yeah, the blister faded away, and, it was a little stingy, a little itchy. Yeah. But
before I go into my herbal education or background, the stinging nettle, so I am growing some right now from seed.
From seed, wow.
Yeah, so they're like about this high. And I have been taking them outside during the day to get sun and wind and that kind of thing. And then I bring them in at night because it's still bloody cold here at night. So I've been bringing them in. And in the process of bringing them in, I got stung right on my thumb joint here. And it didn't blister, but man, oh man, it burned and it was like throbby and burny. But one thing I did learn in my course was she always said for stinging nettles is you talk to it before you harvest it. So you tell it, like, I'm not going to kill you, basically. I'm just going to take like a little bit, like I'm going to give you a haircut, basically. And this is actually going to help you grow, and this is going to help me in my health. And so she said, like, you talk to it, and then she could harvest it without any gloves and not get stung.
Wow. Yeah. Lynn Marie, if you're listening, this is your goal.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Wow. So, I mean, I've never been able to find nettles in the wild, so I've never actually harvested it. But just my little experience of it just brushing my thumb joint, I was like, yeah, I'll probably be wearing gloves when I do harvest it.
I love that, because I always thank the plants. Like, if I go out in the morning to pick some mint for my smoothie or for my my water, I always say, like, I feel bad, right? I'm just like, sorry, thank you. I was just trying to, I'm not killing you, like that lady said, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Not here to harm you. We're just working together. But yeah, sometimes I just let things grow and I don't harvest them. I just don't have the heart to. Like Lynn Marie, she talks about using the root, right? I'm like, but if you pull the root out, it's gone.
I know. I think that about dandelions.
Yeah.
My teacher, she studied directly under Susan Weed, who published a whole bunch of books. She's kind of well known in the herbal community. But Susan Weed considers herself like a wise woman herbalist, I guess, or a wise woman witch even. So if you read her books, when she talks about dandelion, she has like a chapter on dandelion, and she'll have a part where the dandelion is speaking to you. And so she has very much an animist approach to plants, which I really connected to, and that's what my teacher, that's how she taught as well. So she didn't just teach us how to identify the medicinal uses, but she also talked about the personalities of the plants and the magical and spiritual uses of the plants. So to me, it was a very holistic approach, and I just always loved that. And also, the wise woman tradition, according to my teacher and Susan Weed, is more of a gentle approach. So it's not, because some herbalists will treat aggressively, whereas our approach is more not as such a strong infusion or strong medicine, like a version of it. It's slow and steady wins the race kind of thing. Unless you're really needing something, like, it's an emergency or something. But then I would probably see a doctor.
Yes, it's very important to seek actual medical assistance. Like, some people like talk about yarrow helping to clot your blood or whatever. But if you're bleeding on the side of the road, I'm not going to stuff you full of yarrow, probably. Just a little cut be okay.
Yeah, exactly. So when we're going to talk about our favorite herbs, just know that for me, and probably for Susie too, this is in conjunction with actual empirical medicine or whatever it's called,
Absolutely.
right? So, do your research, and there's always sort of not always, but there's sometimes contraindications with herbs, so just make sure you do your research. So when we talk about our favorites, that doesn't mean like you're safe to take it. Just read up on it and go from there. This is more to inspire you, I guess.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people, like, tinctures are harsh for them.
Yeah.
And they're made with alcohol. You can make tinctures with glycerin, but some people, it would be better for them to have a tea.
Yeah.
Or you can, make a gelatin capsule or things like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's really, for me, like, I like to use my intuition. Or I'll use my pendulum or whatever, or then it's just trial and error sometimes. So when we're in class and we're talking about a certain plant and its properties, and Lynn Marie breaks out the tincture and she wants to put it right on your tongue, right? But then she'll go, oh wait, not everybody likes that. So then we all have our little cup and she'll put it in the water for us, because she's so used to them, she just takes them right on her tongue. But I find like they burn a little bit sometimes, right? And I'll just go, and I don't want it. I'll just go, no, I don't like that. So she makes this beautiful cherry bitters. It's not a tincture as much as it is like it's a digestive, right? So it helps you before you have a meal. It helps to break it down. I made this one. It's a wild rose spray. So there's many ways that you can use plant medicine. And then magically, I've got my little magical tea box here. So I like to make little potions, little sachets. So this one is cleansing, purifying. So I make like little mojo bags for people, and I'll let you know whether you're able to use them as a tea or not. But for me, I just like having just that energy, right? Like whether you're making a little dream pillow or something to carry around in your purse, like a crystal, right? To me, it's that kind of energy. And I make oils, and this is kind of fun. It's called wishing powder, and it's just all ground up petals, just stuff I get out of my yard, really. And it's just to energetically make a wish and sprinkle it. So. Right. Yeah, I know. I like to make things. Yeah. And incense too, right? Yeah. So this is just loose things that you find on the ground, right? So pine needles and petals that have fallen. I don't like to pluck things. Like I said, I'm trying not to kill everything. So if it falls on the ground, it's fair game. There's no 5-second rule when it comes to things that fall on the ground off of a plant or a tree. Yeah, so that's just some other fun ways that.
Cool.
Yeah, and then my books.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like to collect the books, right? So some of the go-to books, I guess, if you go back in history, I'm not sure if you're familiar with.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, so this is like from the 1700s. This guy started collecting information on plants. So this goes back like, into the ancient lore, and it's still used today. I just love that. I think that's so cool. And then I have quite a few books about making medicine, right? So the different ways you can use teas and tinctures and decoctions and infusions and all of that fun stuff. Do you know Rosemary Gladstar?
Yeah, I've heard of her. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I love this book because it's for beginners. It makes it simple, and it's got pretty pictures. Give me a colored picture, and I'm happy. So when we talk about magical uses, I don't think we can without talking about Dr. Cindy Brennan, who I know I've mentioned before. She's just such a magical being to me. So she works with the goddess Hecate, who's queen of the witches, and this is called Entering Hecate's Garden. So I have to say, I haven't read it yet, but it's on my to-do list, Cindy. Don't worry. And then the local books, right? I like to get so that you can understand what's in your garden and in your forest, and then plant spirit healing. I just love all that stuff. And then I just got this one. So this is the buzzword now, adaptogens.
Yeah.
And I just love that because it works with you.
Yeah.
And it's going to do what you need it to do. So we know certain plants have certain properties you use for certain things, but adaptogens, you don't have to worry about what's it going to be used for. It's for anybody for whatever specific purpose. So
it's adaptable.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, so ginseng, I can't pronounce some of these. It talks about some mushrooms. Oh, ashwagandha, which is on my list of favorite things, and I have an ashwagandha plant right down here.
Oh.
So it's going to get little berries. They almost look like little cherry tomatoes.
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't he beautiful?
Yeah.
I don't know why I said he's. Maybe seems a little masculine to me, I guess, because it's so strong. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
I like to learn about stuff like that. Oh, look, you can make soup. I love soup.
Nettle soup is supposed to be really good. Yes. I've never done it, but apparently it's very good. Oh, what is your one of your favorite plants to work with?
Yeah, absolutely rosemary, because it covers for me all of the categories. So medicinally, culinary, magically, it's a protective herb to use, and also teas. So the rosemary tincture was the first thing that we made when we started our herbal class, and I really grew to love it. So you can use it. It helps stimulate hair growth.
Okay.
As I get older, my hairline, I look like Walton Goggins there with the hair way back. You know that actor guy? White Lotus?
I'm not. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can use it that way, and then as a tincture or a tea, it helps with memory retention, which, I can really use. And so, at first when you take a tincture, I do find like it's intense, it's strong, but then I get used to it, and then I like it, and then I look forward to it. But I think it's very important when you're taking any type of medicine to welcome it into your body. And even maybe the first time, do a little meditation, just feel the energy and communicate with the plant. Do you do anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. I have a couple things that I limit myself to or from. Um, I don't do tinctures anymore because I don't react well to alcohol anymore. So I just find that, especially, it just burns. So I'm prone to heartburn if I eat the wrong things or if I drink spirits, alcohol. So I'm prone to that burning sensation, and it'll stay for days, and my face turns bright red now. So so I don't know what's up with that. So I stopped doing tinctures. So I find that when I do take my herbal remedies, it's usually in an infusion or decoction or a tea. And I find that gives you the opportunity to just sort of sit with it. Like, for me, like to drink this tea, this nettle tea, you can't help but when you hold it in your hand and you're slowly drinking it, you're connecting with the plant. I think that too was something I found lacking with, and that's probably just me not doing it, but just lacking with taking capsules or tinctures. It just, I don't know, it felt like it was missing that spiritual side, but it's probably because I didn't take the time to do it. So, yeah, but I definitely, when I make a tea, I just sit there for, a few seconds and just connect with the plant and its medicinal properties and its magical properties just in my mind. The other thing that I limit myself from, not always, but it's the flowering part of the plant because of my allergies. So I don't, not for all plants, but any that have that sort of daisy shape to them, like daisies, chamomile is a bit of a problem for me. I'll take it, but I'll be sneezing for like an hour afterwards. And dandelion flower too. So I tend to try and focus on plants that don't look like those fluffy, very multi-petaled plants. And I'll use the leaves and the roots as much as possible. But I'm like Susie, I'm like, if I dig up this root, then it's not coming back next year. But I mean,
it's okay to buy it from someone else with the root, right? But to you're killing your own plants.
I know. Yeah. So anyway, that's. But my top. Well, it's not top. This is not in any particular order. It's in my top 5. But is actually dandelion because I just love dandelion. They're so pretty when they're in yellow. I don't particularly think they look great when they're the white fluffy things. But what I'll use dandelion for, I've used the flowers before for making dandelion jelly. Have you ever had that?
I don't think I have, but some of the girls are making dandelion syrup in my class.
Oh my God, it's so good. Oh. It tastes like honey. It tastes like a very subtle honey. It is so good. So the syrup would taste similar. It would, I think they call them the vegan honey. So it's really, really good. But to make it taste really good, you have to pluck the petals. You can't have any of the green parts. So you have to
The green would be bitter.
Yeah. You painstakingly pluck. So I did that one year, and I made I think it was 6 jars of dandelion jelly, and I have this much left of those 6 jars, and I'm like, do I make some more? Because I sat outside in the freezing cold because I couldn't do it inside. It was too pollen-y. With a mask on.
Wow.
Plucking little yellow flowers to make this jelly. And I was like, I don't know if it's worth it.
That is a lot of work.
It's so much work. It took me hours. And anyway, So it makes a really nice jelly or syrup for the flowers. And I also made a dandelion wine one year with it, which was actually quite good too. But medicinally, it's great for your liver. It helps with kidney issues. It's great for digestion. So in the spring, what I do, the first thing I do when I see the leaves are green in the spring before the flowers come up, is I'll just pick a bunch of dandelion leaves and then just chew them in the yard. And because it's a really good tonic. And the root is also very good for all those things, and you can roast them and make them into like a coffee substitute. So yeah, I really like dandelion. That's on my top 5.
I love that. And it makes me crazy how dandelion is vilified by people with their lawns, right?
Yeah.
And I'm glad that there's more awareness now that, to keep the bee population healthy, and, people are saying, don't mow over your... But I still see my neighbors with those diggers there that, haul them out, you twist them. And I'm just like, no.
Yeah. Well, I do have one of those, and I do plan on doing that in the fall, but sustainably. Like, right. I'm not taking them all out.
No, I do too. I do take some, like if they're interfering with my flowers.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Because I want the root, because it's medicinal, right? So and that's you harvest the root in the fall.
In the fall,
yeah. So the spring is the leaves, the summer is the flowers, and the root is in the fall. So that's where all the energy goes in different seasons. So yeah, in the fall I'll be digging out some dandelions, but there will be no shortage of them. Our rule of thumb was, take a third of what you see. No more. A third for you, a third for the plant itself, and a third for, nature.
I love that. Yeah. Let's talk about 2 fairies that love your herbs and your flowers and stuff. Like, how do you feel about what you have in your property? You feel like, I know you talk about the fairy wood and things like that, but do you really feel like that's all part of that sort of microcosm?
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, that's in one of my favorite herbs, and I'm trying to remember which one I wrote, because there's a few of them, right? The hawthorn trees, which is also medicinal. So it's not just plants. Trees are also medicinal, right? It's plant life. So again, do your research, because not everything is safe. But I think, was it the violets that I put in there for fairies? No.
Forget-me-nots?
No, that wasn't it. Although I do believe that it is definitely a fairy plant.
I do too.
Yeah. Because I love the forget-me-nots.
I think because they're so tiny and they're so pretty and they're so plentiful in my backyard right now. Like, it's crazy. It's just a sea of little tiny blue. And there's pink and there's white ones too in mine.
Of course, I can't find it now.
That's all right. You keep looking.
Yeah.
Or it'll come to you. But yeah, I wanted to touch on that as well, because I think if you're talking about, magical, and you're talking about connecting and, the whole from seed to flower to, and then, when the dandelions turn to the little seeds, and that also always kind of looked magical to me. Remember when we were kids, like you would make a wish and blow on it, and
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I was going to talk about, the magical properties of dandelion. Like it's good for manifestation spells or wish spells, because you can put that in when they're in that seed stage, the fluffy stage, and you put your intention in it and blow it, and you just put the intention that those seeds, wherever they land, they're going to take your intention, plant it there, and then it's going to grow, and then it's going to spread. So it just keeps spreading your attention is going to go far out and it's going to grow. I'm still trying to find what. It's like a fairy. It just disappears when you look straight at it. Yeah, I can't find it.
What did we used to do with buttercups when we were kids?
Oh,
you put
yeah.
it under your chin and...
Yeah, do you like butter? If you like butter, so you would put it under your chin, and if it was yellow, you liked butter. Which, I think that pretty much depended if it was sunny or not outside. But anyway.
But we'd be stained, right? Because you smush the buttercup into your face or something. I don't know. Kids are weird, right?
Yeah.
Eating mud cakes. But do you remember playing with, things in the yard, plants and flowers and things when you were little?
I remember, the buttercups would be one. I remember eating sorrel.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? The leaves, when you eat them, they're sour.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh my God, I remember eating so much of that. And then later on, I remember reading that if you eat too much of that, it's hard on your kidneys. But man, I used to eat that stuff all the time as a kid. I would just pick it. I'd see it in the grass, and I'd be so excited to see this kind of sour leaf. Yeah.
Isn't that funny that you liked? Do you still like sour things today?
Yeah.
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 Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Because, we always waited for the berries, right? Like that was...
Oh, yeah.
That was a no-brainer to eat the berries. And Dad used to... the spruce trees, the sap.
Yeah.
What did we call it? Spruce gum, I guess. Yeah. I thought that was horrendous. But I, because Dad was doing it, I had to do it too, but I didn't really like the taste of that. But he would chew it. Spruce gum. Yeah, that's what he called it. Spruce gum.
I remember eating spruce gum too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would take, as a kid, red clover. And pluck the little flowers and suck them.
That was delicious. I loved doing that. Yeah.
So, anyway.
And then Daph would say, a dog peed on that.
Yeah. Yeah, but it tastes good.
But I think about that all the time. Like if I'm eating berries, I wonder if... Because my cat Bootsy, he's fixed, but he sprays on everything. And I've got raspberries and blueberries. And I wish I had blackberries in my backyard, but I don't. But yeah, I wonder if he's peed on my plants and stuff.
Yeah, it'll be off with the rain.
It's all natural.
So what's your next plant that you...
Yeah, I know I said to you 5, but I had way more than that on my list. I guess for me, I love lavender.
That's on my list too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that covers all the categories as well, right? Because there's so many magical uses for lavender, and culinary and medicinal. So it's definitely up there. And I love the smell. And there's different types of lavender too, right? So many varieties. I have a nice big bush growing in my backyard that I planted. I had one out front that died, but the one out back is, and I just run my hands through it. Oh.
I know. It's funny how some people either love it or hate it.
Well, my friend Angela gives her headaches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's actually the one that helps to see fairies, is the lavender.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yay, you got that one.
Yeah. So, lavender's on my top 5 too, because I just, it's great for promoting sleep. It's magically, it's good for dream work. It's also great to put in like smoke cleansing bundles to burn.
Yeah.
And like I said, it helps to see fairies, and is good for like prosperity spells. I think rosemary is like, I heard this on a podcast the other day actually. Rosemary is like the quartz crystal of the herb plants. So rosemary will do anything magically as well. So if you need a substitute, you can put rosemary in. It'll just adapt to whatever you want it to do, like a quartz crystal. And I find lavender is similar. Like sometimes before the flower blooms, sometimes you can mistake, and depending on the variety of lavender, you can mistake lavender for rosemary.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think
isn't it in the same family?
Is it? I was just going to say, I think it's the same family. Yeah. So I think that you could probably do the same with lavender in your spiritual work. But I also love lavender on a culinary level.
Me too.
Oh, I love the flavor of lavender.
Yeah. It's nice in like making a cold infusion, like lemonade. Lavender's great in, and sprinkle it on cookies. And,
yeah. In baking, it's really nice.
Oh, I could go on forever about that. Yeah, there's a few more on my list.
What else do you have?
Well, I love fennel.
Okay.
I use it a lot as a digestive aid. I find it very soothing. Mm-hmm. I love the smell of it, the taste of it. I'd have to look at my book of correspondence because I can't quite remember the magical properties of fennel, but it is in there to use. So, and I also think that, like with crystals, you can program things for specific. So they all have their own correspondences and associations with the elements and with different planets and gods and goddesses, etc. But I really think that if it means something to you, that you can use it for, whatever purpose is specific to you. Yeah, exactly.
I agree with that. I believe that they all have their own personalities, but just like a person may not necessarily be loving doing something, but if you ask that person to do it, they'll do it. Because they like you or love you, and they'll adapt their thinking to do something for you. So if you're asking, like, this dill plant, which I don't know what the magical properties of dill is, but if it's something that you're just asking for it to do, but it's not its natural tendencies. If you have a relationship with a plant, I think it would be happily do its best to help you out.
I love that. Yeah. I agree. Okay, well, I just flipped open to fennel, so she's got that in here. Magical properties: breaking curses and bad luck, clarity, communication, courage, dealing with authority and government. Ooh, that would be a good one, right? If you had to, go to court or, there was something difficult that you had to do along those lines. Prevention, protection, psychic, witchcraft, visions. I love that. And fennel and dill are also in the same family, are they not? They're related?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, their leaves are very
it's
similar.
Easy. Yeah, it's easy to mistake one for the other, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. My other one was St. John's wort, or St. John's wort.
Ooh.
Yes. So, however you want to interpret that.
I love that.
Yeah. So, St. John's wort, a lot of people know about it. It's great for depression and anxiety. It's for mild depression. It's not for severe depression. It's just
kind of especially seasonal affective.
Yeah,
depression.
Seasonal affective. I'm going to just tell you my own anecdotal experience with this St. John's wort, because you don't often see it. Sometimes some reference books will say that it's good for nerve pain, but a lot of times you don't see it for that. So, God, it's been at least 12 years or so ago. After Alicia died, my whole body just went haywire, and so I was having severe neuralgias. I was having trigeminal neuralgia, which is, they call it the suicide neuralgia because it's so painful. It's in your face, it's in your head, and I couldn't couldn't brush my teeth. I couldn't even brush my hair. The pain was so bad, and I was taking all kinds of like over-the-counter meds because I don't do prescription pain meds. But I was trying to take all the pain meds that I could tolerate. I saw doctors and went to physiotherapy and all this stuff, and nothing was working. And I was getting depressed, like really depressed. And oh,
hi, Vinny.
Oh, there's Vinny.
Vinny. This is day and night. This is dementia time for Vinny.
Oh, poor kitty.
He's okay. He gets confused. Where's Mommy?
Yeah.
Vinny.
So, because I was depressed, I thought I'm going to start taking St. John's wort, and I didn't take the tincture. I started making tea out of the fresh flowers, so I would commute to work, and I would have my hot thing of St. John's wort tea, and after about 3 weeks of this, I started realizing it's like, wait, my pain's gone. Like, it was just like it was a sudden realization that I was feeling better mentally, but it was more the physical side of it. I was like, oh my God, like
wow.
It cured something that nothing else would even touch. I would take Advil and Tylenol. I would take 2-3 of them, and it just would not touch the pain. I was just so miserable, and this St. John's wort like took care of it. And every now and then, sometimes it wants to crop up again, the pain. Like I feel secure in knowing that St. John's wort's going to be there for me. Like, yeah.
Wow. So even when you're not taking it, just knowing that, or when you think about it, it starts to make you feel better.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the power, right?
Yeah, it is that sort of connection to the plant, and I love harvesting it. It's and the way the flowers turn color when you harvest it, like in a tincture. So the flowers are these beautiful bright yellow flowers, but when you tincture it, the tincture is like blood red. It just immediately turns red, and it's just really cool. And St. John's wort comes around the Feast of St. John, which is like June 24th. So that's when usually you can start looking for to harvest them. And they're very much related to the sun. So when you take it, if you take too much of it, or if you take it regularly, you have to be careful of the sun, because it makes you prone to sunburn.
Wow.
So it's so connected to the sun, it's almost the sun itself.
Wow.
So it's really good magically if you want to pull that sun energy into your magical practice. So whatever the sun represents to you, like to me, I think of the tarot card like the sun, and that strength. Hi,
Vinny.
Yes, here we are. Yeah, here we are, my boy. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So that's that's another one that's on my list.
For those of you who are listening and not seeing, I have a giant orange cat on me.
I mean, giant orange cat.
Yeah, he's
so handsome.
Yeah. Oh. He's senior now, so he gets a little...
How old is he?
Well, he's a rescue, like all of my cats, so...
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's probably like at least 14 to 16 years old, so that's when they start to get a little senior. But if you just want to hang out here, that's fine too. I love that story. Thanks for sharing that, because I think it's so important that when you feel a connection, or when you feel like something could be good for you, honor that and try it. Because like you, I don't do well with prescriptions, like with pharmaceutical things. My whole body just goes no. And I mean, I even tried melatonin the other day and it made me dizzy. So I don't know. I just feel more connected to the plants and the plant medicine. And that probably comes from my mom, because she loved plants. You know, it was all plants all over the place. She wasn't really much of a gardener, but inside plants. But she, you know, believed in, you know, teas and poultices and all those kinds of things that she learned from her mom, right? Yeah. Because, like I said, that's what they had to work with. They didn't have, you know, access to all the drugs that we have. And I think that we've lost that connection. And, you know, I think it's coming back around. But, you know, it's sad to me when people laugh at holistic medicine, right? Like, my naturopath, love her. So she made me this little blend, and it's just to cheer me up, right? So that when you take it, you feel like you're bringing sunshine and goodness, like, you know, the St. John wort kind of thing, right? Yeah. So I have to remember to express the gratitude when I do it, right? So if you're just popping pills mindlessly because your doctor said, here, take this, I'm sure that there's a reason why you're taking them. Yeah. But don't shut yourself off to exploring what natural plant medicine can do for you. Anyway, so this is done with glycerin, so there's no alcohol in it, right? Yeah. So, and sometimes I feel funny because I'll take my tinctures that are made with alcohol in the morning, and I think, what if I get pulled over? What if he gives me a breathalyzer? And it's like, I'm drinking so early in the day, but I mean it's a couple drops, right? I'm sure it's not gonna really show up on anything. But do
you want any tea?
I would love some more tea, thank you. So I've got some more on my list then. Okay. Oh my goodness, it's just so hard to pick because I'm just so in love with. Oh,
sorry, I may have taken more.
Oh, that's all right. No, that's fine. I don't need that much more. So yeah, to pick one, I guess speaking of sunshine, that's why I love calendula.
Oh, yes. Oh, that would have been on my list if I would have remembered.
And I know you had made me some calendula salve one time, and I just loved it. And it just makes me happy, and I love looking at it. Yeah. And, you know, it's just this bright sunshine. So when the petals fall on my calendula plants, I collect them. I probably have some petals around here somewhere, and I use them in my little mojo bags, and I put them with my crystals, and they just make me happy.
I love calendula flowers.
Yeah, they're so pretty, aren't they? And, you know, the petals are a nice size, so, you know, and I also put them in when I'm making, I like to make little things for my altar, and I like to have representations of the elements. So I'll use calendula to represent fire. Right. Right? Yeah. Because it's, you know, sun and fire, and I just love that energy.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. So my other one was violet. And I actually just did some videos on making violet jelly because it's so good.
Pretty.
And it's so pretty. But it's also it's good for you. It's you know, anti-inflammatory, and it's good for digestion. It's got a lot of great properties, and I just but on a magical level, I find it's such a soft energy. And it's almost like if you want to not disappear, but if you don't want to be the center of attention, I think violet is a great herb or flower to work with in your magic. Or if you want, say you want understated beauty, you know, if you want to do like a glamoury type spell, but you don't want it to be over the top.
Nothing garish or gaudy. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so just a very subtle beauty spell. And, you know, it's great. And a lot of these herbs can be put in smoke cleansing bundles, but also some herbs you can actually smoke them, and they're actually good for you. So you can roll a joint of mint if you want. Mugwort. Yeah. So, because gosh, there's so much you can do with it, isn't there?
It's like
plants.
I know we could go on.
I know you can go on forever, and yeah. So violet is another one that I really really love, and it was at the forefront of my mind because I just made violet jelly.
So pretty. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up because I have some violet and I have some Johnny Jump Ups that usually jump up. So I'm going to harvest those petals to put in my little mojo bags. Yeah, thanks. I love that.
Yeah.
I love understated beauty like that because I think there's just something very magical about putting your vibes out there, and a certain person's going to catch them. So not it's not for everybody, you know, like who would be like someone universally beautiful, like say like Grace Kelly, or, you know, someone everyone would look at and say you're beautiful, right? So I like kind of that understated, like you said, where you're just trying to catch someone's eye, but not everybody's eye.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. You don't. I guess it's not like an obnoxious beauty, or it's a beauty that the person will see the beauty that's more inward, you know? So it's like that subtle beauty that somebody's like, you know, I don't know why I think, you know, she's so beautiful. You know what I mean? There's something subtle and...
Yeah, like Tilda Swinton, you wouldn't necessarily say that
I'm terrible with like actors and stuff.
Oh, okay. Well,
so I have no idea who that is.
I'm trying to think of a movie she was in, but yeah, I mean, if you Googled her, but yeah, she's not a classical beauty or anything like that, but just like she's very interesting looking.
Right.
Yeah, so certain angles and certain characters that she played. So another one, I guess I'd have to stick with the pretty things and say like the wild rose.
Oh, okay.
So on Mom and Dad's property next door, my grandmother had the whole row by the road was all wild roses, like those pink ones.
Yeah.
And as soon as I smell that smell, I know right away, like, it's that smell. It just brings that home to me. Like, I just love it. And I love the petals and the buds, and I love making things with them or throwing them in a salad. I'll just pluck them and eat them. But, you know, sometimes I just pluck them and put them in my pocket. And I like the velvety feel of them.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah, there's just something. And, of course, you know, that is grandmother energy, and that is unconditional love. You know, the pink rose.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's so many spells you can use it in, and little, again, with the medicine bags and things like that. But, yeah, do you love little wild roses?
Yeah, I do. I love the smell of them. When we moved to our house, that whole front yard that I'm digging up was all wild rose. So you couldn't even, and weeds. So I dug up most of them. I left 2 bushes because, you know, I wanted to leave some. Also, I like the rose hips because the rose hips, you know, are very beneficial too.
Absolutely.
And my last herb is a culinary herb, and it's thyme. So I cook with thyme all the time. I find a lot of people don't use it in cooking, which is really...
I'm like you, I put it in everything.
Yeah, which is really surprising to me.
And it grows so easily.
Yeah.
And it's so hardy.
Yeah.
Like it's still growing in the wintertime.
I know. Yeah. And it's like antimicrobial, it's antiviral, antibacterial, like it's anti-inflammatory. Like it's a really great herb. And like Katie and I were talking the other day, and we were like, you know, everybody we know has caught COVID, and we never caught COVID. And Katie's like, it's like, well, I don't go anywhere. I work from home. It's like, I work in a university full of snotty-nosed students, right? I manhandle stuff all the time, books and stuff. So I was like, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's because I cook a lot, with thyme, which is a really good antiviral. I think it's helped us boost our immune system. I truly believe that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's good. It's kind of like rosemary for magical purposes. It's good for protection, and even you can use it for prosperity spells. And yeah, so those were my top 5.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I wanted to touch on what you said about, like, a couple you mentioned that were anti-inflammatory. So for me, inflammation is one of the most insidious, it's not a disease, what would you call, like, condition that exists in our bodies. Like, we're so full of it from the foods that we eat, and just stagnant energy in your body. Mm-hmm. So if you can find herbs or you can find healthful foods that will help move that stagnant energy out, like, I can't tell you how much it's done for me, like, to stop eating gluten and seed oil, like, from potato chips. So I just have avocado oil potato chips now, but seed oil is in everything, and it's so highly inflammatory for your body. Like, it sits in my body like pockets of pain. Like, you couldn't do this to me a couple years ago. Like, you couldn't touch me. It would just hurt.
Yeah.
And it would stay like that. It would be like someone just kept a finger pressed in me. So that inflammation lives in our bodies. And then the other thing you mentioned about, antiviral. So keeping yourself healthy, especially over the winter time. So I just encourage people to do their research when it comes to, whether it's culinary herbs or teas or tinctures. Like, I just can't stress enough how much difference it's made in my life to use that, but also mentally too, right? Yeah. Just finding that connection again, and having green things around me makes me so happy. So in the wintertime, you bring your plants in, and in the summertime, just go out and just, like, the first thing I do when I come home is I go out in my yard. I'm sure you're the same way.
Yeah, I do that too.
I come out and I visit everything. Yeah. And I say hi to everything. Mm-hmm. My mother talked to plants. Mm-hmm. She sang to plants. I know Lynn Marie sings to her plants. She has theme songs that she sings to her plants. And remember, it was many years ago now, it came out that Prince Charles, he's king now, but that he talked to plants, and everybody thought he was crazy. My mother never did. Yeah. She got it, right?
Yeah.
So, I just grew up with that sort of connection, and not thinking that there was anything weird about talking about fairies living out in your yard, or
yeah.
It's just all a part of it. So I'm really glad that I had that growing up, and that I retained that love. And so we're coming into the 1 hour mark.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about plants.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can always do another podcast if we think of more things we want to talk about. I did get a couple messages when I did my violet jelly video asking about herbal stuff. So if you have any questions, we'll try to answer you if we know the answer.
We'd like to see more videos of you making things.
Oh.
I love watching them.
Yeah, I've had a few people like message me about when I show my garden or when I'm doing stuff in the kitchen or whatever. So I don't know, maybe I should, because I have so many channels going on and I can't keep up with it. So maybe I should just put it on this channel. Like some of the herbal stuff and the more magical stuff, I guess.
Yes.
Maybe not the cooking stuff, but anyway, yeah.
I can't watch many more of your cooking videos. It makes me so hungry.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah,
that was awesome. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I hope that you find some inspiration. Get out, whether it's container gardening, if you don't have the space, or just planting, just get 1 or 2 and start that way. It's addictive. You'll want more.
Yeah. Yeah, you can grow stuff even inside with, like, Susie, you can't see here, but she has some grow lights. I have grow lights in my basement. This is from seed. under my grow lights in the basement. So,
and the rosemary,
that's summer savory.
Oh, that's summer savory. Oh,
yeah.
See, it looks like rosemary.
Yeah, I should have put a tag in there, sorry, but it's summer savory, which I absolutely love. Almost smells like skunk.
Oh, I love that smell.
Yeah.
That's like my mother's dressing for the turkey right there.
Dinner.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's also medicinal as well. So anyway,
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you don't have space, try it inside under some lights. You know, you can buy them cheaply on Amazon.
Yeah, those are like, I think $15. I think it just clips on and there's some lights. I didn't pull a Mother Mary card. Do you want me to do it later and post it in the...
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah. Because, you know.
Yeah, maybe do a separate video. Then.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
All right, awesome. Thanks.
All right, well, thank you for watching, and I'm glad to be back. Sorry for the delay. I had to deal with some health stuff and
life happens.
Some overwhelmed stuff. So anyway, but we're back.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Have a blessed week.
Yes.